All right, so I recently just returned from vacation, um, technically Saturday of last week. And so I went to Europe last week. I spent time between, um, well, I went to Spain, Europe last week. I spent time between Madrid and Ibiza. Um, for the record, I hate taking time off because I'm a creature of habit. However, taking time off is necessary. Being able to disconnect helps to be able to boost productivity. The vacation policy at my office job mandates that I have to use my vacation time before the end of the year. There really isn't a whole bunch of rollover, but that varies from company to company. Um, cross cross continental travel makes me anxious. There are so many things that can go wrong when I'm going through my normal routine. I'm pretty much on autopilot, and I'm simply just going through the motions. When I'm traveling, though, I must be alert at all times. I am by no means a master traveler. However, I have some wisdom that can help you, whoever's watching this video, navigate traveling and reduce any apprehensions that you may have. Let us start with the cardinal rule of traveling, and that's going to be the topic of this video slash the introduction to this series, Mr. International. It's just a play on words. Backstory. So I studied French at the College of Charleston. I studied French over Spanish because I wanted to rebel against my caretakers. That's just my mind's set back then. I studied French over Spanish because I wanted, well, I had no desire when I was younger to travel to Latin America, and then even to this day, I still haven't been. I didn't want, when I thought of Spanish, I thought of Mexico, and outside of like Cancun, maybe. I just had no reason to want to go there, especially back then, thinking about like the cartels and whatever instability they had. It didn't sound appealing to me, especially like when I was going through high school. And then at the time, I knew nothing about the country of Spain. I mean, I heard about it, I guess, read about it in history that obviously the small country of Spain conquered Latin America, but I knew nothing about Spain itself in contemporary times. So therefore, I had no incentive to want to visit there. I thought France was way more appealing at the time. I knew a bit about Paris, and it just seemed more interesting for me to want to go see in person at the time. Now, spring 2012, for French 201 and 202, I had a Corsican teacher who spoke in all French for the entire semester. Her name was Dr. Hires. She pretty much broke the game down for me. She was the professor for the Paris summer program. That I think the Paris summer program was in June. So basically, I had French 201, 202 in the spring. So that's from January to like May. And I think either June or July, I had a 3 week program in Paris. And so it was a 3 week program where we stayed in a hostel for 3 weeks, and then we would walk around and learn about all the museums and around Paris, France, and all the monuments as well. And we would get like a train pass, and we would just go to different places all day. It was very intense. The summer class was taught in English, though. At the time, I had never left the country before. The last time I had went on the plane was 2010. So I had my first time going on the plane was 2010. This was 2012. So a very limited traveling experience. All the traveling that I did was in a car, and even that wasn't that much. And so I had never left the country before. Now, in order to graduate from the College of Charleston with a degree in international business, I had to study abroad for at least 3 weeks, and I had to complete a minor. spring 2012, I had to pay $150 to get my passport. The passport lasts for 10 years. So I got it 2012. It expired in 22. Um, it was a process that took less than an hour to complete. You basically, I think you bring your social security card. They make you fill out a whole bunch of paperwork. They take you into a room. Basically, you take a picture and they tell you not to smile, even though at the time I was excited and I was happy. They tell you to give a blank expression. Um, and after that, it took less than 3 weeks to receive in the mail. It's a very simple process. And so Dr. Hires explained to us that the cardinal rule of traveling is to pack lightly. Her rationale was that we would buy clothes and materials there. So basically, whenever we arrived at our destination, we would buy things in order to carry with us. And we would need space in our luggage. Basically, don't never travel to a place with full luggage. And so Dr. Hires, her wisdom still serves me even to this day, basically 13 years later. There are two types of baggage when you are traveling, and they both really follow the same cardinal rule of packing light when traveling. So, got some materials. Let's see. So, there is check luggage. This bag's kind of old. I've had it for over a decade, but you can see how wide it is and how much it can fit. It has like an extension and it also has wheels as well. So that's checked luggage. Um, and then also there's a personal bag. So allow me to back up, but this is what I use as a personal item, and I use this specifically because I can fit it under the seats of an airplane. It doesn't take much for me to fill up. Um, so maybe one going out outfit, a pair of nice shoes, maybe like a toothbrush, maybe my glasses, and then I can fit only like what I need in there. So like let's say um, like a water bottle. Like I usually keep like a stainless steel type water bottle that I can close so that I can um, drink water when I'm in and out of airports through like the machines, passport, charters, and things like that. So the difference between like checked luggage and really just traveling for personal item is that with checked luggage, it's typically going to be for international trips, 2 weeks or longer. You may want to carry more stuff, but if I'm only traveling for like a couple of days to a week, I'm going to go with the personal item. And then I also have a few more things. So I have a clear plastic bag. I keep a clear plastic bag if I want to go to like parties. So like maybe like pool parties or raves or things like that. I usually keep like a fan with me, or if I want to store stuff in the locker, I keep it in a clear plastic bag. Like if we're going to a pool party, I don't want to have my phone and my wallet on me. And so, with so moving on, other items. No, actually, moving on. That keep in mind that weight is expensive. Airlines punish you for carrying excessive weighted baggage with higher prices and more fees. And as a traveler, you want your money to be spent at your destination. You don't want all of your money tied up, basically going to and from your destination. You want to use your money to enjoy the location that you're going to, or locations. Now, items. There are some items that you need to carry with you and keep in mind whenever you're traveling. The number one for me is an adapter. So this specifically is for when I travel to Europe because the power situation is different. In Europe, they use what's called DC, or direct current. In the United States, we use AC, which is short for alternating current. And the differences can be highlighted here. So this is what's used in DC, direct current outlets. This is what's used in AC, alternated currents. So I'm going to do my best to try to explain the difference, but bear with me. So DC basically means the way that it's built, it's like the current is going directly from power source to whatever's being plugged in. Alternating current means that um, there's some steps in between the power source and whatever's being plugged in. So if you're not careful, if you plug in um, if you plug in something that is meant for AC into DC, you could really fry your products. So whenever you're traveling, you want to have an adapter so that whatever's DC, so you take the AC, you find pretty much the whole, you plug it together, so it takes the DC current, it changes to AC, and then you plug it into like your phone, and then it won't fry your products. So I forgot where you can buy it from, but basically you can take this adapter, plug it into the wall, pretty much any wall. So like you go to Europe and you look at the outlets, it's a lot different than the ones in the United States. So the ones in Europe are kind of like circular, and you can see like two circles where you plug this in, and after that you plug in your AC outlet, and you'll have zero problems. So there's that. I keep always an adapter with me when I travel. The second thing, I always keep a power block with me, because I never know when I'm going to need to charge my phone. The average flight from the United States to Europe, depending on where you live. So I live on the East Coast. The shortest flight I've ever had was like 7 hours, depending on which part of Europe you're going to. Europe from east to west can be pretty extensive, but typically, if I'm going from like the East Coast to Western Europe, I would say 7 hours, 55 minutes. Other times it's been 8 hours if you can get a direct flight. I'm going to talk about that in subsequent videos. And other times it can be longer, but we'll break that down later. So moving on, I have it looks like a wallet, but it's an ID Guardian. So it's used to protect my passport, so people don't try to steal my information while I'm at the airport. You have to be very cognizant, because there could be people out to get you wherever you travel. Even if you're at home, that's still the case, but especially when you're traveling, you always want to be alert at all times. And then I have my passport right here. I got it renewed in 2022. When you're traveling with your passport, you want to make sure it's signed. So you want to take a pen, and the first thing you want to do is turn to the page where it requires your signature. You want to sign it so that when you go through customs, you want as least problems as possible. And in a different video, I'll break down how to get through customs with zero problems. Now, for me, I bought a wallet that has a keychain. You can get these at Walmart for less than $20. So there are times where I like to go out and party, and I've had to learn that when I'm going to the bathroom or whatever, I don't want to misplace my wallet, especially like if I'm in a foreign country, don't want to lose my identity. So I've learned that that there's I've figured that there's probably places that sold wallets that had keychains, and Walmart has it, so it's not very hard to get. So basically, this is very important. You can just move this and then find a belt loop. You hook it on, and then you put it in your wallet, and you're less likely to get stolen by pickpockets or misplace it. Sometimes we have to dummy proof things for ourselves so we can navigate through life easier. And so those are pretty much the basic things of packing light. And then we'll break down different aspects of traveling as we go through this series.